Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris coming at you from my channel I Am Toys. This is the Hot Toys Hulkbuster. So, man, I almost didn't get this figure. 2.5 years, man, will do something psychologically to you, man, and it really lost the hype for me that I had initially when I wanted it. So, but after seeing more in-hand pics and so on, I definitely am happy I picked it up. You know, before we get into the review, make sure you hit that 4K option on your YouTube browser before we start getting into more details. I'll tell you right now up front, this isn't going to be a full-blown review. There's no point in recreating the wheel, as they say. Budget Stark, or Anthony, which is how I'm going to reference him in this video, has 4 videos out, goes through the light-up functions and everything and so on and so forth. So anyone who collects Iron Man, you know the light-up functions and unscrewing all the compartments and everything. This takes a lot of time. So we are going to bypass that, and I'll probably apologize again for it at the end of the video, I'm sure. But again, like I said, just check out Anthony's videos. They're very informative. And yes, that is the Mark 46 in there. So a few people I thought I saw saying that you couldn't put the 46 in there. Yes, you can, 100%. Does it fit absolutely perfectly? No. Is the screen accurate? No. For me, I absolutely love it. I think it makes the figure pop even more. There's one little issue as far as the helmet coming down, but it you can kind of bypass it, and I'll show you how to do that. And I did try the helmeted head on there as well to see if I could close it, but unfortunately with the extension of the neck and the helmet as well, it felt like the head actually sat a little bit higher, and I couldn't get the Hulkbuster helmet to actually close more. But who knows, maybe there's a way around it. We'll see as I experiment through this video and showing you how I got how the 45 basically sits in there. I'm not going to show you the entirety of how I shoved them in there. It takes a little bit of jiggling around to get them in, which I'm assuming you probably have to do with the 43 as well anyway. But it's relatively painless for the most part, and I'll show you as far as the components going back on, encasing him into the control pit. I'll show you that part, and then I'll do a 360 pan like I normally do, and then that'll be, then I'll close out some final thoughts like I normally do. So let's get it on, and we'll get to it. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I did to close them up. Now, I'm going to give you this warning. This is the 46, it's not the 43. So you're going to have to jiggle it in a little bit. It doesn't fit perfectly. Some of you might be like, well, hey, dummy, you should have put the helmet on, and that would probably eliminate your problem that you're having of closing the Hulkbuster helmet. Doesn't work that way either, guys. You got 2 options. It's either what I'm about to show you, or you pull out the Tony head that I'm showing you here and then close it that way. So there might be another workaround, but I haven't found it yet, so it is what it is. Now, those of you who have seen the fill-in portion as far as closing up the cockpit and everything, it's pretty much the same. Anthony, or Budget Stark, so when I reference his videos, I'm going to be calling him Anthony, so if you don't know who I'm talking about Budget Stark. He's got 4 videos, goes through a lot of stuff in detail, so whatever you don't get in here, you know, definitely check his videos out because they're very informative and well thought out. So basically, like I mentioned, the fill-in process is essentially the same, right? So you're going to take this piece, make sure I'm not blocking the camera, and it's going to go in just like you saw in the other videos. Snaps right in, right? No issues yet. Now you're going to see if I remember correctly on this process. You can either put this in next, or you can do it last, or after, but you're going to put this in next, which also magnetizes for some reason. There we go. And you're going to push this in and then move it in like that. Same thing with this one, and then push it in like that. And then your last magnetized piece is going to go right there. Everything snaps in perfectly. The body itself fits in there like a glove. It's really no issues with that, as you can see. So The issue will come when you try to put the helmet down, like I've already mentioned. So what we're going to do, we're going to push these up, obviously. And these are going to be like that. These are going to go down like so. And like so. Voila, right? Now this is what you're going to have to do now. To get this all the way over, you have to put your finger here, push down a little bit, because this right here is going to get caught on this. So pull that down a little bit and over, and then boom. And also, I didn't mention, make sure you push that head down first as well. So there you go. Now, another problem you're going to have, of course, this piece is supposed to go down. Actually, it didn't do it that time, huh? It actually worked out well. Usually when I put that down, it pushes the mouth out a little bit. It opens it up a little. As you can see on this one, it didn't as much. Still a little bit, as you can see, but not as much as before. So that's it with the regular, with the 46 in there, and that's with the helmeted. I mean the naked sculpt. Man, to tell you the truth, when I put the helmeted sculpt on, for some reason I felt like I couldn't get it down. I felt like I had more issues with the helmeted one. Like I mentioned, I couldn't get it down either. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm almost wondering if I didn't pull down on that one piece of the cockpit armor or the control pit armor as much as I did just now, and maybe the helmeted sculpt maybe would actually work in there. So I'm starting to think maybe it's possible. But anyway, I'm not going to demo that for you right now. I'm limited for time, so I apologize for that. But if you want to do the helmeted sculpt in there, you can. And you know, I think most people will be. I mean, if you want to do the naked sculpt, rather, you'll be fine. So all right, so let me do the 360 pan of the figure and show you the detail on this guy, because the weathering, from what I've seen from some other videos and from some pictures, I couldn't tell. It looked like the figure wasn't as weathered as the prototype, and the prototype, it definitely has a little bit more weathering than this, but this actually has some very decent detail on it, especially if you light it correctly. So let me show you that, and we'll go from there. Alright, so as I mentioned, definitely going to be keeping the battle damaged chest plate on, because I think it adds a little bit more of a dynamic, makes him pop a little more, so I'm definitely going to leave that on. As you can see, the detail, man, and the weathering on this is really good. For 2.5 years and waiting, I think Hot Toys definitely hit a home run on this. I was surprised when I saw this thing out of the box, because some of the other pictures that I saw didn't look like a lot of the weathering had transitioned over into production, but it actually really did. So I'm definitely pleased. So I hope that's all coming in for you the way it is for me, to the eye. Really awesome, man. This figure is a beast, man, in every way possible. Alright, I'll move him to show you the left side portrait. So I hope the detail on that shoulder is coming through right at the top. I could probably bump the height up on the camera to do that, but with my luck, I'll knock this friggin' entire tripod over. So you've got weathering on the side of the helmet as well, which I hope again is coming through as good as it is for me. It's really good, man. Wow, I'm telling you, man, looking at this thing, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Alright, I'll rotate him around to the back for you. Here's the back. Obviously, there are multiple light up, sorry about that. There are multiple light up points. I'm not going to go through all that because it's a huge pain in the ass. And normally, if someone had already done it, I wouldn't mind doing it for you. But Anthony already does that in his videos, so you can check that out in his and get what you need there from that. So no point in recreating the wheel, as they say, right? Really awesome detail, man. I'm telling you, from the front to the back, everything to the joints, the paint application on this, really, really so well done. Again, I hope that all that detail and weathering is coming in for you guys. It's really awesome. So if any of you guys are on the fence about getting this, I don't think it's going to sell out that quick, but you never know. The more reviews and the pictures that come out of this thing, the more people that suddenly find an extra $800 lying around in credit cards or what have you. Yeah, so there's the bust. As you can see, nothing that fancy. It's a 43 bust. There are some variations in it, which Anthony goes through in detail. So again, check his video out. There's some paint application differences as far as the brightness, from what I understand and from what I remember. I don't have a 43, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison for you on that. And I probably wouldn't have the time anyway. Alright, so that's the back, and let me show you the right side. Here's the right side. Again, some decent scratching and weathering on the shoulders. And just all the way down. I mean, there really isn't a piece of armor on this thing that doesn't have some kind of scratching or weathering on it, to tell you the truth, man. So I'm very happy. Again, it didn't look like all that came through when looking at some of the pics, but that initially came out, but it definitely did. So if anybody was wondering, hopefully this is coming through for you. Oh, and besides the bust, obviously that's the other chest plate, the clean one. It's not really that clean because there is weathering, as you can see on that as well. But let's just say non-extreme battle damaged. Alright, and I'll do a quick articulation demo on the arms real fast for you, and the shoulders, and that'll probably be about it as far as the articulation, because again, it's cumbersome to try and prop this thing up, man, or sit down with it and try to do the legs for you. It's a pain in the arse. So alright, let me do the arms for you real quick, which I'm sure has already been done in some videos, but why not, I'll do it again. Alright, so doing some quick articulation on the arms. You get it pretty, just about 90 degrees bend on the elbow. As you can see, it's just about, or maybe just under, slightly, but you get almost 90. The hands are obviously articulated. It's not like a 1/6 scale figure where they're going to give you multiple hands and so on and so forth. They're just articulated, and you got to work with them as best you can. But they're pretty good. So you can probably get most of what you need. Definitely make a fist with them. Shouldn't be an issue. So, but one people might find interesting. You would think Iron Man, right? He's got 5 fingers. Not the Hulkbuster. He has got only 4. 1, 2, 3, and then the thumb. That's it. I didn't even realize that at first until about maybe 20 minutes into me messing around with it. So it's kind of neat. But anyway, putting the arm down, shoulders will go up about right there. So it won't stay up at its highest level. It'll drop a little. Actually, yeah, there you go. It does. So you get almost a completely full lateral raise on the right arm. And obviously you should be able to do that with the left arm as well. So that's about all the articulation I'm going to do for you. Again, I apologize, but it's already been done. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't even remember if Anthony did do articulation of the legs in his. I think he did, but I can't remember. But it is, like I mentioned, it is a pain. But you guys will, when you guys pick this up, if you are going to get it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you know, if you have the Age of Ultron Hulk, you're definitely going to be really happy with this. And I'll close out the video basically with the I'll show you the final pose that I'm going to leave him in, and that's pretty much going to be the end of the story. Right, so in closing, this is the final pose I'm going to go with. Kind of a mid-articulated walk pose. I know it's not screen accurate to the film. I know some people are probably watching this and be like, ah, it's not supposed to have the 46 anyway, that's why you're having problems, blah, 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 blah. So I don't care. I think that having the clean sculpt inside is awesome. I think it makes it pop more. You can definitely use the bust if you don't like it. Put the 43 in, put the full body in, and just go from there. But I think having the clean head sculpt makes it pop a lot more, and I'm a huge fan of some of the traditional old sci-fi films. As far as a man being in a machine, I think it always, I don't know, with Iron Man and the Hulkbuster inside, it always felt strange, the fact that he still had a helmet on while he was inside of another machine that also had a helmet. So I know it must be added protection. Obviously it's added protection when you're going up against the Hulk. After all, it is the Hulkbuster. But it just, for me, it makes more sense to not have the helmet on. And again, if you're going to be using the helmet from the 43, or putting that 43 body in and swapping the head onto the bust like Anthony does, and you're just going to slide that front piece of the mask on, which I believe is more screen accurate to the film. I believe. Honestly, I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I can't remember even if that is screen accurate. But you can, if you're putting it in a shelf and you're overhead lighting it, the shadow still it obscures the face still. So you know, other than pics, if you're going to light it with overhead lighting, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get his face to come through. So as I mentioned, I think the clean sculpt really pops more. Make sure you guys check me out on my Instagram too. It's I am Toys, same handle. Believe it or not, my pictures are even sharper than the video. If you didn't hit that 4K option in the beginning, make sure you hit it now. I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning. But in the description it says the video's in 4K anyway, so I'm sorry if I didn't mention that in the beginning. And I'll try to get some photos up of the helmet on and see if I can close the top. Like I mentioned, I think with the joint piece to this, the neck piece, and this obviously connected to it, I believe it sat higher than even this did, and that was the problem that I had. But now I'm starting to wonder, like I mentioned, if I just didn't, when this was on, if I just didn't push down hard enough. But we'll see. If I get the urge or the motivation to do that, I'll put the photos up on my Instagram page or in the groups, and you can see it there. So overall, very happy. 2.5 years, more than that, waiting. I think it's a really good job. There are not many cons to this figure, other than maybe I think maybe a couple more battle damage exchanges for the armor would have been nice. Maybe something on the leg, maybe the arm or something like that, shoulder. I don't know. What would have been cool. The detail on this thing is amazing. I mean, it definitely feels expensive. It feels like they put a lot of work into it. It's not a light plastic piece of shit. It's heavy, man. It's like Anthony says in his video, it's like a small kid. It's wild. But they did a great job. So, again, this obviously wasn't a full-blown review. Like I said again, there's no point in recreating the wheel, as they say. If you want to see the light-up functions, check out Anthony's videos. He's got 4 of them. I'm just basically trying to give some people some ideas of what else you can do with this as far as putting the Mark 46 or maybe some other versions in. You can try it out and see what happens, but just make sure you're careful. Put those sleeves on the legs so you don't damage the figure, and just be cautious. These things aren't cheap. So I know there were some people that were hoping that they would do this in die cast, but this is $850 USD at Sideshow. You've been paying $1,200 to $1,300 honestly if this was die cast, and it would have been even heavier. So to hell with that. So that's really about it, guys. In closing, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to get a photo up of this on my Instagram so you guys can see this in some even higher resolution. And that'll probably be it. So thanks for watching, and I'll Next review I'm probably going to be doing is Ghostbusters, Blitzway Ghostbusters, whenever that comes out. You know, we'll see if it doesn't get delayed again. And that's it. All right, guys, deuces.